Right, I'm going to start today with a little story. Well, more like a little joke, really. Picture, if you will, a Cornish farmer, old style, leaning over a gate, and a guy in a sports car turns up, and the guy winds his window down, and he says to this Cornishman, "Tell me, I'm looking to drive to Wales. What's the best way?" And the old guy chews on his lip a bit and he says, "Best not start from here." So lots of things that we are dealing with at the moment are like that. The best not to start from here. Education's a good one. One of the things that seems to happen is that we take an idea that seems good and then lock a lot of other things into it, which fundamentally will not support what's added to it. So, as an example, the education system, as we've got it, is based on a very old model, like a factory system. The kids don't actually clock on when they come in, but the bell rings or whatever it is, like it would have done in the old workhouse or old factory, and the register is taken on their behalf, and the day is sort of scripted out in minute detail now. Now, is that the best way that education could be accomplished? And the answer to that is, I don't think so. And a lot of people don't think so either. The next point is, what is education supposed to be accomplishing? Now, if you go back far enough, education was about opening the mind. So if we go back a couple of hundred years or more, if you had the money and you went to university, you only studied a handful of subjects, probably theology, rhetoric, and the classics. So the idea is, once you could speak Greek and Latin fluently, if you ran an empire, you could go off to a country and learn the language. You didn't actually learn the language before you went. Because you could speak classics, you could learn anything, because your mind was open to be able to do that. That's not how we think now, of course. And yet that system worked very well for a long time. So you then have to ask yourself, well, why did the system change? And it's not actually about people having open minds to think. And I think this is interesting when it comes to things like the arts and music, because the thing that makes the great artist is the person who sees things at a tangent to other people. They're the ones who are the creative artists. Now, the system in music education seems to be more like making people orchestral players, even in contemporary music. So you become the session player who works with somebody else. So that's fulfilling an old factory system, if you like. Now, is that completely wrong? Well, not completely wrong, because it works, if that's what you want to do. But for most people, that's not why they learnt the instrument in the first place, particularly when it comes to contemporary music. So the point here is that the system that we've already got, and this doesn't just apply to music, because there are examples of this in just about everything that you look at. As an example, just to pull one out of a hat, is the GPS system. So GPS, you think, oh, well, that's just for finding your way around. But GPS is actually used, because it locks into time and all the rest of it, for financial, the financial markets and banking generally. Now, on the face of that, you think, how does that, foreign exchange, etc. So when the GPS system goes down, we lose everything. So it would be sort of financial chaos as well. So, and we seem to have this sort of preoccupation with focusing down to one thing, which I think is a mistake. Because nature doesn't work like that. It works on biodiversity. It works on complexity. And we don't do complexity very well. In fact, we're crap at it. But I think the answer about music and being a great musician and an artist is complexity. It is about being able to take things from lots and lots of different sources and be able to put them together in ways that are unexpected, and in such a way creates this sort of strange homogeny. Now this is quite sort of deep, but basically what I'm getting at is that the answer that you need to be a successful musician is not catered for within colleges, universities, or any system that somebody's trying to teach you, including me. That there is no one size fits all. You have to really broaden your mind. And that is not accomplished in the way that education works now. So there we go. That's something to sort of chew over. I might have saved you a lot of money about going on that music course at the whatever university it is, particularly if it's one of those that's going to be tying you up for 4 years, etc. So yeah, ponder that. We're going to be start picking apart a lot of things as we go along, and sort of get deeper on certain musical styles, because I was engaging you on listening to musical traditions in a way that's sort of different. So we're going to come back to that very soon. Okay, so speak to you again. Cheers, bye.